Okay, super. So the people whose names I put in the chat are people who had enrolled for this session but uh, are not attending so far. If your name is in this and you are in this session, or if you join in, please, if you notice any of these names, just let me know so that I can add them in. I can just mark their
Excuse me,
attendance.
ma'am. I'm Anuja.
Your name, sorry,
Anuja. I'm Anuja.
Anuja. Anuja.
Hmm.
Okay, Anuja. Okay, great. Anyone else
Ma'am,
who?
excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
Shobna. Shobna.
Shobna. Shobna. Shobna Gandhi.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else in these? Aishwarya Shivakumar, Annapurni, Pavitra, Anthro, Abhitha. Anyone? Any of y'all here? Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am. Annapurni is here.
Annapurni. Okay, you're here. Okay. Okay, so Vishal, Subhatra, and Annapurni, I don't have your email IDs. So I need you all to just send your email ID on chat so that I can mail you the whatever we need for today's session. The rest of you, can you check if you've got an email from me? I would have sent you an email which has some documents. So just check to see if you got that email.
Yeah, ma'am, I have got that, but reading and listening stages is not opening.
It's not opening. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'm just sorting out this. I'm mailing it to you all again since you all are saying you're not able to open it.
Ma'am, still it is not opening. Reading, listening stage is 4. It's not opening.
Okay. Just a minute. Just a minute. I'm just trying to. I think I need to take it out of the OneDrive link and then send it to you all. It's not opening for any of y'all?
I'm able to access it. Jata here.
Okay. Okay, you're able to access it. Okay, great. Anyone else who's able to access it? Because it's a little odd. I've been
I
doing these sessions.
Ma'am, I can
no, it's
also.
working out for me as well.
No,
Okay,
I
so
couldn't,
the
ma'am.
one person. Okay, so maybe you need to just, I don't know, send it to your email again or something like that, because maybe forward it to yourself or something, because this is what I have been using all these days and there's not been any issues. So I'm also not sure.
Ma'am, I'm not able to open it either, ma'am.
You're not able to open it either. Okay.
Ma'am, I have sent my mail ID in chat box, ma'am.
Who is this, ma'am? I'm sorry, I don't know who is this.
Ma'am Vishal. Vishal, ma'am, Vishal.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this. Just give me a minute. Okay, let me try again. Um, I'm going to try attach it again and see if you are able to access it from here. I've sent it again. Just see if you're able to access these. Those of you who said you were not able to, just see if you're able to access this.
Ma'am, this is Annapurni. The file that you sent regarding that orientation, that is not clear, ma'am. So could you please send it again?
What do you mean it is not clear? I'm not able to understand you.
Clear in the sense the letters are so shaky and it's not clear.
So that must be a problem with your system, I think, because these are just regular Word documents.
Actually, if you open this in the mobile, it is not clear. But if it is in the system, it is really very clear.
Yeah,
Actually,
so
that's what I experienced it.
you should be actually opening up everything on your computer. You shouldn't be doing any of this on the mobile because it's going to be very
Okay.
difficult for you to actually see because there will be worksheets and there'll be, it will be very difficult to manipulate all this. So I think it's better if you maybe keep your mobile on, but then shift into a laptop. Okay, so I'm going to
Okay.
get started now because I think we are already way behind. I hope that all of you have got you've got the documents. So let's start with.
Ma'am, this is Roslyn, ma'am. Still, I'm not able to open the reading and writing, reading and listening alone. Other three files are getting open. The reading listening stages 4 is not opening. It's opening in the mail directly. After downloading, it is not opening.
Like I said, this must be an issue with your system because it's a little odd that they're all Word documents. So if, maybe you just need to try to access it
Okay,
from
the
a
off is
laptop
open.
or something. Start by understanding exactly what you're getting into. What are you actually going to be doing? Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about that. So, as I'm sure all of you know, you are part of the Nan Mudalvan project, which is by the government of Tamil Nadu. And it is a very, very important and a project that's very close to our hearts because it's an opportunity for us to provide language training opportunities to those who probably otherwise wouldn't have the chance to do this, right? Because you're going directly to government polytechnic colleges and you're going to be training government students, government college students, right? So it's a fantastic opportunity for you also to create a change. Let me tell you a little bit about the course that we are doing for these students. So we are offering a program that has three parts. The first part is an online course. This online course will focus on reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and it's 20 hours. And then the second part is a face to face program, which is what you all will be delivering. Once again, it focuses on reading, writing, listening, and speaking, and it's 40 hours. And finally, we have the certification test, which they will take. Again, that is online. Right. So let's look at the face to face part that you will be handling. The topics that you will be, the skills that you'll be focused on are speaking, grammar and writing, grammar or writing, reading reading and speaking. Okay, with speaking, we are going to be specifically looking at functional speaking. Do any of you know what functional speaking is? What is the meaning of functional speaking?
A general discussion or else the day-to-day things which is happening around us, we'll discuss with our friends. Kind
Yeah,
of.
so functional speaking is everyday communication, right? A function is what we use for a particular purpose. So, say for example, when we are speaking, expressing likes and dislikes is a specific function. Asking for suggestions is another function. Um, Giving an opinion is another function. So, when we teach speaking, we look at each of these functions and we teach phrases for each of these functions. We'll also be teaching reading and listening. So, reading and listening are always clubbed together because they are both receptive skills, right? Where you receive information. With reading, you're reading it, and with listening, you're listening, but you're getting some kind of an input. That could be signs, messages, articles, things like that. Along with the reading and listening, we also learn new vocab, and we have questions in this reading and listening lessons which focus on developing the reading and listening skills. And finally, we have a follow-up activity. Okay, grammar, we'll be revising the basics. We'll be looking at problematic areas specifically for Indian learners. Like with our experience, we found that Indian learners struggle with tenses, they struggle with subject verb agreement. So we'll be focusing on these particular areas. Again, we teach grammar through everyday usage, and we have a follow-up activity at the end of the grammar lesson. So your online course, similar to your face-to-face, will focus on speaking, reading, listening, grammar, and writing. And finally, they take up an assessment, which is online, and the test will evaluate them from the CEFR level A1 through to the CEFR level C2. And it will test all the four skills. So the final product of this course will be this certificate, which they receive from the Hindu group. Okay. So, what is your role? What is your role as a trainer? So, first, obviously, you need to train. Second, you need to motivate them. Why am I even mentioning motivate? Why is motivate important in this case?
So that they will talk fluently and they will have the support from us because this is a period for them to learn. So we will help them. So we
Okay,
have to
but why
motivate them.
specifically motivate? Anyone else?
Uh,
Lack of
most students,
Ma'am,
self-confidence.
the motivating.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
going to
ma'am.
request all of you to just send your answers in on chat because there's
Okay, ma'am.
quite a few of us. It might be a little difficult for all of you to speak. So maybe type out your answers on chat. Tell me why
Okay,
is
ma'am. Sure.
motivate important in this particular situation? Why is motivate important? Have all of you received your schedules? Just type out yes on chat if you've received your schedules. Yes, yes. Okay, everyone seems to have got their schedule. Okay, great. So everyone's got their schedule and Spock details. Fantastic. Now let's move on to the next part. Okay, what are the duties that you have other than training? There are some things that you need to do. So the first thing is you will have to print out an attendance template. So because we need to let the college know who has attended the training session and who hasn't, we need to take attendance. So there is an attendance template. You need to take a printout of that template and you need to take attendance. I will show you where you can find that template. Okay, so every day you need to take attendance. You need to get the college faculty to sign your daily attendance, and after that you need to upload it onto OneDrive. So this is what you need to do in terms of attendance. Okay, that's the attendance hard copy. Apart from that, you have the attendance soft copy. So you have the online Excel sheet, right? And here you need to update the attendance. So you can probably do that at the end of the day or after a couple of days, right? And you need to calculate the daily present or absent. And finally, enter your details onto the sheet. Okay. Now, the next thing that you need to think about is photographs. You have to download the GPS map camera. You need to take geotagged photos every 2 to 3 days. Now, why we need this is because, again, the government requires us to show proof that you actually went to the class and you deliver the training. And the GPS map camera tags the geolocation of the place. So we can prove that, yes, you actually went there because it's a huge project. We are training 55,000 students and we have about 160 trainers out in the field. So as you can imagine, they need to do certain things to ensure that, work is actually, training is actually happening. The other thing you need to look at is videos. You need to select students who will give you positive feedback, and every couple of days, take a video of them talking about what they feel about the program and such, and upload it onto OneDrive. Okay, all your classes will be observed and monitored. The non-Mudalvan contact might drop in, the college faculty might drop in, our STEP subject matter experts may drop in. So make sure that you're prepared for every class. Okay, so before we move to the do's and don'ts, I'm just going to show you. Okay, you will have access to this particular folder, right? Now in this folder, you can see something called attendance, a subfolder called attendance, right? Now if you click onto this, you will see student attendance to print. Click onto that. This is the file that you need to take a printout of and take the physical attendance in the classroom. Okay, so you enter these details, enter the student name and ID, and then every day whenever they attend, you just need to mark their attendance.
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry for the disturbance.
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, I actually joined late because I didn't get the link for this meet. So can you just tell me like how to go to this page?
Go to which page?
The page that you're
Okay.
sharing now?
So this is under for trainers. This particular
Okay.
for trainers, this link will be shared with you, right? And when you
Okay,
go
ma'am.
to this link under attendance, you will be able to find the Excel sheet.
Got it, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So this is the Excel sheet. Again, you need to just enter. So as you can see over here, the names of the students, and you just put in the you put in semester 1, and then you enter the attendance for each day. So these are the two things that you need to do with respect to attendance. Then I mentioned photographs, right? Now for photographs, what you need to do is each region has a folder like this, right? Under the folder, if you have a look, there will be feedback videos and there will be photos, right? If you click onto photos, you'll see that people will have uploaded photos. So this is what a geotagged photo looks like. This has been taken with a GPS map camera. So you need to take a photo of your classroom like this, just to show that you know how your classroom is, just to capture some pictures of how they're doing the activities and things like that. Okay, and then you have another folder for feedback videos. People haven't started putting that in because we just started training in certain regions a couple of days ago. So, but basically your feedback video will be individual students, any students that you think are confident enough to speak. So they can say a couple of words about, you can get them to talk about what they liked in the class and what they enjoyed and things like that. Right. Now, before we move on, I want to ask you, in terms of attendance, what do you need to do? In terms of physical attendance, what do you need to do?
Should
Abita,
get the
can you,
name list.
yeah, I'm just going to call out and then you can answer. Abita, could you answer, please? Abita, could you answer, please? What is your understanding of what needs to be done with attendance?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah, Abita, tell me, what do you need to,
Hello,
what
ma'am.
needs to be
Can you
done?
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What needs to be done in terms of
Hello.
attendance? Yeah, Abita, we can hear you. Okay, Aishwarya, can you answer? Aishwarya Shivakumar? The other Aishwarya? Aishwarya Shivakumar is not answering, so
Yes, ma'am. This is
yes.
Aishwarya.
Yes, Aishwarya.
So we have to get the details about their name, ID, that means roll number or ID, and then we have to mark the attendance.
Okay. Can Annapurni tell me what needs to be done for the online attendance, please?
For online attendance, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, we have to take a printout of the Excel sheet given in the trainer folder, then write down
Yeah.
the names, roll numbers of all the students, get it
See, that
signed
is
from the
the,
faculty,
yeah,
or
correct. That's the hard copy,
get it
which is
signed
what,
for us.
yeah,
Yeah. Then after
that
that,
is,
we have to upload it in the respective folder.
yes. And you also have to enter the details into the Excel sheet, okay? What you need to take a printout of is the Word document and then get it signed. Enter the attendance and get it signed. But the Excel sheet, you need to actually manually, I mean, you need to enter it in online, okay? Okay. Anu, can you tell me what needs to be done
Actually,
for?
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, tell me,
So
Annapurna.
the student's name has to be written manually, or can it be typed, ma'am, in the Excel sheet?
See, you can type out the students' names, but how would you know the students' names? No, you have to first
Yes,
take a
that's
printout of
right,
that.
ma'am.
Yeah, you have to take a printout of the attendance sheet. The first day when you go, you can find out the students' names, and then you can get, You can mark the attendance, and in the Excel sheet, based on your hard copy attendance, you can enter the data into the Excel sheet.
Okay.
Okay. Anu, can you tell me what needs to be done with regards to photographs? Anu? Anu, I can see your name, but I don't know why you're not responding. Okay, Brinda, what needs to be done? Brinda, Rohini, what needs to be done with?
We have to take picture using GPS mobile camera.
There's a lot of disturbance, Brinda. You need to, I think you're on two devices. You need to mute one if you're speaking. Okay. Dinesh, can you tell us? Yeah, okay, Brinda, tell me.
Ma'am, we have to upload a picture which we took using a GPS mobile camera.
Okay, excellent. Dinesh, can you tell us what needs to be done with respect to videos?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you, Dinesh.
Yeah, ma'am. We have to take the videos of feedback and upload in that files, ma'am.
Excellent.
In respective
Excellent.
files.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. So all of you are totally understood, I'm going to assume, from your fabulous answers. Okay, so let's get back to this. Okay, so do introduce yourself as a step trainer. You are not a freelance trainer. You are not belonging to some other organization or agency through which you are hired. Once you attend this training session and you are on the ground, please consider yourself a step trainer representing the Hindu group. Okay. All this admin work which we discussed right now, all this does need to be completed on time. All these are prerequisites from the government. It is not something that we made up. It's something that the government requires us to do. It may sound like a lot, but I assure you that, because we had a set of colleges that started last week and the trainers are doing it absolutely smoothly. So once you get started, it becomes very, very easy to do it. It's just that initially it may seem a little overwhelming. Okay. Develop a good rapport with your SPOC, because your SPOC, your specific point of contact, that's what SPOC is. And they are the ones who you will be coordinating with in college. So build a good rapport with them, because they will be giving feedback on your classes, etc. Second, they can also help you with facilities in the college, like the college bus and things like that. Use college resources wherever possible. Wherever you can, try to use the college resources. Try to manage with what is available. There may be instances where your workbook has not arrived on time, or your workbook has arrived in the college, but then they have not, sent it to the classroom. So initially there will be a little bit of hiccups like this. Try to understand that it is, so to give you a perspective, we got the work order from the government exactly 2 weeks ago. So in 2 weeks, we have to print 55,000 booklets. But before that, we had to get, we had to contact the colleges, confirm the addresses. None of this information was available. So everything has been done in the last 2 weeks. It's been done to the best of, human ability. But there will be instances where, because the printer had limitations of how much he can print, the courier has limitations of the where they can deliver and within what time frame. So due to all these, there may be some delays. Okay, try to manage to the best of your ability with what is available. Be a good STEP representative. Please don't forget that you are representing STEP from the Hindu group. Okay, do not refer to yourself as a freelancer or attached to any other organization. Please don't discuss your payment with colleges or with colleagues. Okay, it is something that is only, that's information for you and need not be discussed. Please don't make any promises to the college. Do not tell the college that if they ask you for some specific, they might ask you, can you change the schedule? Instead of this, can you do it this way? So don't make any promises without checking with us, because once you give them your word, it becomes very difficult to go back on it, right? Don't make any requests to the college like asking them, can I, instead of coming on Monday, can I come on Friday? Things like that, because that will come back badly. It will come back to us, and it's not going to look good, right? And please do not share lesson plans with the college. That is our intellectual property. We are sharing it with you because you are part of the STEP team now, but it is not something that we share with anybody else. So please be a little careful with that, those. Okay, so with that, we've come to the end of the first session. Before I proceed to the next session, just want to check on chat if you have any specific questions. So things like I haven't received my schedule, those kind of things, we can resolve that. We don't need to waste everybody's time on that. But if you have some specific queries with regards to what I have asked you, I mean, what I have discussed, then please do type it on chat. Okay, Lakshmi Priya is asking what is Spock. Spock is specific point of contact. Okay, so this is the person that you will be coordinating with. We have coordinated with these specific point of contacts in every college, and we will give you the Spock details. So actually the folder. Okay, so I showed you that folder, right? Under the same folder, the for trainers folder, you have this uh, file called Spock. So if you click onto that, okay, if you click onto this, you will see for every zone, you have the particular Spocks with their contact numbers given. And some of you asked for this link. So I'm going to share it right now on chat. So that's the link. Okay, that's the link that has all this information. Okay, and everything we spoke about is under this document called General Instructions for Trainers. So if you look over here, you will have, it will tell you where you can look for the Spock, where you can check for materials, what is the documents you have to maintain under each uh, district, what you need to do, and how you need to upload. So all this will be available for you in this file, okay, which is called General Instructions for Trainers. Okay, and Jayeshi is asking who is our point of contact at the Hindu group. So different regions have a different point of contact. So they will get in touch with you with regards to your region. Okay. During the session, how much, Bandana is asking, during the session, how much time do we have and how do we manage to take attendance, photos, videos, etc.? Is it there a specific time, like first thing before this session, or we take, see, this is not something, all of you are trainers, these are things that you need to kind of figure out and manage. So when you do a couple of days, you will be able to I mean, once you do a couple of days, you will be able to figure out how to manage these things. Sometimes you'll find it easier to take the attendance at the beginning, other times you can, kind of, you can do it at the end of the session. So see how you go. And photos and videos are not things that you have to take every day. Only the attendance has to be taken daily, right? The other things can be taken periodically. Okay, if the link is not working for you, don't worry. A link which you will be able to access will anyway be mailed across to you. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, just understand what is there under the link so that when you get the link, you'll know how to use it. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next session of the day. which is where we are going to understand the content that you will have. Okay, so here I'm going to be okay, I'm just going to sharing the screen, but I'm going to talk to you now about the lesson plans that you will get and how, how it plays out and what it includes and things like that, right? So that it's clear for you all. Okay, great. Okay, so first, let me tell you what are we going to look at in this next session. We're going to be going to help you understand the Hindu step lesson plans, the different formats, the stages, and the learning. Okay, so can you open in the files that I sent you? There functional face-to-face outline, F2F outline. So can you open that up? Nan Mudalvan Polytechnic 40 hours F2F outline. Okay, and can you tell me what are the skills you notice in these plans? What are the skills that you notice in these plans? You can just type it out on chat.
Could you repeat which folder again? I kind of voice kind of broke off on me.
It's called Nan Mudalvan 40 hours outline. Okay, so Joel says reading, listening and speaking. Shobna says speaking, writing, learning. Okay, what skill is learning? I'm not sure. Praveen says listening, reading, writing, communicating. Vinay says speaking, reading, writing, listening. Excellent, Vinay. That's absolutely right. Rosalind says grammar. Yes, Priyanka, there's also grammar. Joel, there is grammar. So basically, the skills that are covered are listening, reading, writing, speaking, and grammar. Okay, great. So now, can you open up the next file, which is called reading, listening stages. Reading, listening stages. You would have received another file called reading, listening stages. Can you open up that file, please? Okay, and what you have in that particular document are the different stages in a listening or reading document. These are the different stages in a reading or listening lesson plan. I would like you, but it's all jumbled up. The order is completely jumbled up. I would like you to put it in the correct order, arrange it in the right order, and send in your responses, okay, on chat. So you can say like 3, 2, 5 4 6 or 3 2 1 4 6, whatever you think the correct order is. Put these stages into the correct order and send it on chat. Okay, we have the first answer, which is 32154. Unfortunately, that is not correct. Rosalind, do you want to try again? We have Vandana who says 321564. Okay, let a few more people send in their answers and then I'll let you know if that's correct or not. Priyanka says 43215. Pavitra says 32154. Pavitra, you're missing one number. So are you, Priyanka. There should be 6 stages. Jayashree, I think you got the question wrong. You're supposed to open the document and put it into the correct order. So Vigila says 312546. Samyukta says 312564. Okay, excellent, Samyukta. That is the correct answer. Shobana, you also got the answer correct. Vandana, I think you got the answer correct first. So let's just discuss this. So the first stage of your reading and listening lesson plan will be a lead-in. Okay, a lead-in is just going to give them. Can anyone tell me what a lead-in does? Can any of you tell me what a lead-in does?
An intro about the session, why we are here, and just going to tell what topic we are going to get covered today. Then
Okay. Okay.
Or to
Can I
create some
hear?
interest among the students on the
Yes,
particular
to create.
topic that we're going to take.
Yes, to create some interest. Yes. So I'm going to call on people and then we can probably share to avoid a lot of overlapping. Someone has typed out. Aishwarya says tuning in. Dinesh is getting into the topic in an interesting way. Vandana says generating interest. Absolutely. All of these are correct answers. That's exactly what happens with a lead-in. We're just generating interest in the particular topic. Now, what is pre-teach vocab? What do you think pre-teach vocab does? Can I hear from Vigila, please? Vigila. Vigila, can you tell me what you think pre-teach vocab is? Vigila Kannan? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So
Okay, no problem. Anyone else? Any idea what pre-teach vocabulary might be?
Some keywords regarding the topic.
So,
Okay, but why do we teach it before
ma'am,
we
this is
start
Radha. Can
studying?
you say?
Yeah, tell me.
Some of the students might be unaware of some vocabs to regarding the topic. So it will
Okay.
be useful if the trainer gives some free vocabs.
Yeah, but why do we teach it before the topic?
So it will help them to write or speak about the topic if they knew the free vocabs related to the topic.
Okay. So basically, what we do pre-teach, okay, when we say pre-teach, the reason we pre-teach vocabulary is, yeah, Dayanidhi says give meanings for words before reading so they don't find it difficult while reading. Excellent. So there will be certain words that if they don't know the meaning of that word, They will not be able to understand the entire passage, nor will they be able to understand the audio. So I'll give you an example. Suppose they are reading a passage about space, okay, and they don't know the meaning of astronaut, right? If they don't know what an astronaut is, they may not be able to understand that entire passage. So words which are very fundamental to understanding a particular passage or understanding a particular audio, those words will be pre-taught. So pre-teach vocab is what we do at that stage. Then we have the first reading or listening. Okay, what kind of question or what do you think is the purpose of the first reading or listening? Can you send in your responses on chat, please? What do you think is the purpose of the first reading or listening? You can send your responses on chat. Okay, Usha Devi, you've joined in an hour late. Um, okay, so skimming the content, understand the gist or the overall meaning. Yes, Vandana, you're absolutely right. The purpose of the first reading is to understand the overall meaning or overall, just get an overall understanding about the passage or the audio that they're going to read or listen to. What is the purpose of the second reading? What is the purpose of the second reading? Can you all type out your answers on chat? What is the purpose of the second reading or listening? Vandana says a deeper understanding or to understand the details. Aishwarya says to understand the underlying meaning. Rosalind says better or good understanding. Jayashri, in-depth, wider understanding. Yes. So with your first reading or listening, you're just understanding the gist of whatever you're going to, whatever you read or whatever you listen to. But with the second reading or listening, you're looking into the more, the more details. You're looking into the details in that passage or in that audio. Okay, great. Next, we have post-teach vocab. Now, you can unmute and any of you can tell me what is post-teach vocab? What do we do in this stage? Those of you who know, one of you can unmute and tell me what is post-teach vocab?
I think will be telling the or we will be telling them some lexies and will make them to understand the meaning and the right pronunciation of the particular lexi.
Okay, why are we doing it after the second reading or listening? Anyone else? Why do you think it is?
Yes, ma'am. I think it will make them that vocabularies as active vocabulary rather than passive. So, in post-teach vocabulary, we can ask them to write a sentence or make a sentence using those vocabulary they learnt. So, they will have a wider understanding of that
My
words.
question is, what is the difference between pre-teach vocab and post-teach vocab? Somebody else? What's
They
the difference?
know because they know few of the words. Better understanding will be there. So in the post-teach vocab, they will also be able to answer, and they will also able to question like that. So it will be better understanding, and it is a kind of recap for them, so that they will never forget.
Not really. The difference between
Um,
pre-teach vocab
I
and post-teach. Yeah.
They can connect to the concept, ma'am.
No.
Okay, it can
Okay.
also be learning the vocabulary from the context. So in pre-teach, that is when we are,
Yes, absolutely.
pre-teaching. So the essential words, the key words that they need to know to understand the entire passage. And post-teachers, then we pick up certain words which they need to understand from the context, because the meanings might change depending on the context. So that's
Fantastic. That's absolutely right. The difference between pre-teach and post-teach is the word doubts for. So Lakshmi Priya, please check the spelling of doubt. That's the first thing. And second is, it is not clearing doubts, like I'm going to explain. And like Vandana explained, pre-teach vocabulary is when you need to teach words that if they don't know the meaning of that word, they will not be able to follow the passage or the audio. Post-teach vocabulary are words that are used in the, in the reading or in the audio, which they might know and they can guess the meaning, but they may not be 100% sure. So then you teach it to them after the reading or the listening to make sure that they have understood it correctly, right? And finally, we have follow up. So we will do some kind of a speaking or a writing activity connected to the topic that we have read or listened to. So say, for example, the passage, like I told you earlier, was about traveling to space. The follow up activity might be, if you could travel to the moon, who would you travel with and why? Okay, it might be a speaking activity like that, something like that, right? So these are the different stages of reading or listening plan. Great. Now, can you open up the document that says functional language stages? Can you open up the document that says functional language stages? Functional language stages. Okay, again, this is also again in a jumbled order. You need to put it into the correct order. These are also different stages of the lesson, and you need to put this into the correct order, just as you did for the previous lesson. So we looked at earlier, we looked at listening and reading. Now we're looking at functional language, which is speaking and writing lessons. Okay, Vandana says 43215. Vinay says 43215. Sorry, that's Sujata. 43215, you're okay, great. Dayanidhi says 43125. Shobna says 43215. Anushya says 43215. Jewel says 43215. Okay, let's see what the correct answer is. Okay. The correct answer is 43215. Fantastic, fantastic. So many of you got it right. So let's look again at the different stages. So you have a lead in, right, which we already discussed. It's to generate interest in the topic. Then we have a setting context. Do any of you know what setting context is? Do any of you know what is done in the stage of setting context? You can send your answers on chat. You can send in your
Maybe
answers
do
on
some
chat.
actions.
Could you send in your answers on chat, please?
Okay.
Thank you. an activity. Not quite. Our entire lesson plan is an activity, Aishwarya. We only, it's all activity-based learning. Dayanidhi says scenario-based. Jayashree says meanings of the words in sentences. Giving a particular topic to discuss. So far, no one has got it correct. Do some actions or pictures related to the topic. Ask them to talk about a particular activity. None of these are correct. Any other guesses? What do you think setting context is? Something related to the curriculum. Aishwarya S is now given up and is asking me with a question mark. Okay, Vandana says understand the background and setting of what is happening where and why. Okay, somewhat more accurate. Okay, so setting context. So say for example, the lesson is about expressing opinion. Okay, in the setting context, you will use a real life scenario or an example where the student will get to see how something like expressing your opinion is used in everyday life, right? So the point of setting context, so Vigila, where you said proper interaction with students, which is relatable to the topic. See, yes, we need to relate it to the topic, but proper interaction needs to be done throughout the lesson plan, not just in setting context. Entire lesson plan has to have interaction. Now, when you're setting context, what you're trying to do is getting the student to understand whatever we are learning. So say, for example, we're learning expressing opinions. How is this particular function? How is this relevant to their day-to-day life? Okay. The next part is language focus. Do any of you know what is done in the language focus stage of the lesson plan? In the language focus stage of the lesson plan. So the chits that you had to reorder, if you read that a little in detail, you'll be able to understand what is done. Jayashree says pronunciation. Okay, that's part of it, yes. Samyukta says lexical part. Okay, that's part of it. Sujata says meaning and pronunciation. Yes. Shobana says understanding the meaning and pronunciation. Yes. So in the language focus, what we'll be doing is, say, for example, we take the same topic, expressing opinion. In language focus, we will teach them the different phrases. We will teach them vocabulary, pronunciation of those words as well as those sentences, which are related to expressing opinion. So at this stage, we might teach them, okay, when you're expressing opinion, you can say, I think Shah Rukh Khan is the best actor. You can also say, in my opinion, Shah Rukh Khan is the best actor. Okay, so I think, in my opinion. These are all different phrases that can be used for expressing opinion. So it's in the language focus stage that you will, yeah, according to my perspective, yes, Vijula, that's another phrase. But what I'm trying to say is in the language focus, you will teach them different phrases that they can use for that particular function. Okay, now can you tell me what is semi-controlled practice? What do you think happens in this stage, semi-controlled practice? Vandana says doing the exercises related to the topic. Yes, excellent. So basically they will do like multiple choice or fill in the blank. It's very structured, like Vandana says, because we provide support. So if we take the same example of expressing opinion, it might be something like I dash apples. I eat them every day. Okay, and the options given might be like or dislike, right? They need to choose. So obviously it is like because we are saying that you eat it every day, right? So this is where we are already providing some support for the student to work out the correct answer. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is freer practice activity? Freer practice activity. Think about semi-controlled practice where there is some level of support or structure given to the learner, and think of freer practice. What do you think that activity or that is going to be? Vandana, I'm going to not read out your answer for a minute. Let me check what others are going to say, but that's a great answer. Multiple option answers. Jayashree, how are multiple options freer practice? Think of the word free practice and look at the particular chit in your, that document that you have. Look at that particular stage. What does it say? Discussion. Rosalind Sam says discussion. Okay, so with freer practice, it is more where there is no structure and you're asking the student to produce the language, right? So in the language focus stage, we have taught them different phrases. Now in the freer practice stage, we are saying we taught you all these phrases. Now you use those phrases to either have a discussion with each other or write something, right? So like that, we ask them to do this. Great. So let's move on to the next. Open up grammar stages. Please open up grammar stages in your lesson, in your document. The document will be called grammar stages. Again, these are the stages of the grammar lesson plan. And put these into the correct order. Okay, let's see what all of you are saying. Praveen says 3, 2, 1, 5, 4. That's answer C. Samyukta also says answer C. Lakshmi Priya answer C. Shobana answer C. Priyanka answer C. Aishwarya S answer C. Vandana, Rosalind, Joel, Anusia, Aishwarya, all of you have answered C. So you're absolutely right. The answer is C. Great. So let's look at this. So grammar, you have again a lead in, then you have a setting context. We already talked about what is setting context. So here, say for example, we're teaching past tense, okay? The setting context might be, what did you do last weekend? And they talk about what they did last weekend. And then we bring attention to the fact that when you're talking about what you did last weekend, you are in fact using past tense. So we'd like to teach the topic in a practical manner. You don't want to be teaching the topic in a very theoretical manner saying, okay, today we are going to learn about past tense. In this, when you teach it like this, students realize, oh, past tense is something that I use in my day-to-day life, right? Language focus. So in grammar language focus, what do you think is going to be taught? For grammar lesson, language focus, what do you think is going to be taught?
The particular language of grammar, for example, if I am, taking the
Can you
session on
please,
past tense.
can all of you please answer on chat? Thank you. What is taught in language focus? Jayashree says tenses. See, that is a topic that might be taught, but that's not what I'm asking you, because that I'm not asking for the topic, right? Every grammar, you might have a lesson on tenses in the grammar, but every grammar lesson will follow this particular structure. It will have a lead in, then it will go to setting context, and then it will go to language focus and so on. So what is taught in language focus? Annapurni, no, it is not tenses. Like I said, I'm not asking you what are the topics taught in grammar. I am asking you in a grammar lesson, okay, what will be taught under language focus? So Vandana, if past tense, if the lessons is past tense and past tense verbs like was, were, were, wasn't, weren't, did, worked, etc., and the pronunciation of these words. Excellent. Franklin says procedure and rules. Yeah, somewhat right, Franklin. So basically, the format of that particular grammar, the rules, the pronunciation, the form, all this will be taught in language focus. Okay, then you have semi-controlled practice, which we already looked at, is where they're allowed to practice, but it is with some kind of a support and structure. Whereas freer practice is where there is no support, they are expected to do the language. So if we're teaching about past tense, uh, semi-controlled practice would be yesterday I dash to the park. Okay, and they have to fill in the correct verb. So that will be semi-controlled practice. But freer practice will be discuss with your partner, what did you do yesterday? Right? That is a freer practice. Super. Okay, now on the screen, you can see different aims of each of the different stages that we looked at. Okay, for the different lesson plans, we looked at different stages, and here you can see the aims of the different stages. Now, I want you to type the correct number on chat. Okay, the first one is which one of these is the aim for a lead-in? Which one of these is the aim for a lead-in? Just type in the correct number. Vandana says 4. Okay. Vigila says 4. Dayanadi says 4. Okay. Everyone's saying 4, and you're right. The answer is 4. It is to get SS. SS means students. So it's to get students interested in the topic. Excellent. Now tell me, what is the aim for the setting context stage? What is the aim for the setting context stage? What is the aim for the setting context stage? Abhita, you left and joined. So the question is, what is the aim for the setting context stage? Vandana says 8. Okay, let's see what others say. Praveen says 8. Samyukta says 8. Jayashree says 8. Sujata says 8. Anusya says 9. Lakshmi Priya says 8. And the answer is 8, right? Like we discussed earlier, when you're setting context, you're allowing learners to understand the real life situation in which whatever language we're teaching, when and how it will be used. Okay. Aishwarya, you said 11 to deal with words that can be understood through context. No, Aishwarya, that is incorrect. And Rosalind, number 7, to reason to understand the overall meaning is also incorrect. Abhita, yes, it is 8. Okay, the next one. In a functional language lesson plan, which of the following is the aim of the language focus stage? So when we say functional language, it's a speaking or a writing plan. What is the aim of the language focus stage? Language focus stage in a speaking or reading lesson plan. Aishwarya says 5. Sujata says 5. Aishwarya says 5. Radha says 5. Okay, you're absolutely right. It is 5. And Vandana, I noticed you said 2. It can be confusing, but the difference over here is because it's functional language, which is speaking or writing. One of the key things that we do is we introduce standard phrases, right? Like how I mentioned, for expressing opinion, you might say something like, I like, in my perspective, my viewpoint is. So you're giving various phrases. Okay, so that is number 5 is the answer. Now, in a grammar lesson plan, which of the following is the aim of the presentation of grammar stage? Which of these is the aim of the presentation of grammar stage? Vijala says 5. No, Vijala, 5 was already the aim of the language focus stage. So no. Sujata says 2. Rosalind says 2. Vandana says 2. Radha, Aishwarya, Samukta, all of you say 2. And you're absolutely right. It is to understand the formal rules, the form, the structure, the exceptions. So when you're teaching grammar, what are the rules, what's the structure, what's the exception. All this comes under the stage 2. Excellent. Let's go on to, all that comes under the presentation of grammar stage. Excellent. Okay, now let us move on to the next one. Which of these is the aim for the first reading? In a reading lesson plan, which of these is the aim for the first reading, or the first time the learners read it? Sujata says 6. Vandana says 6. Shobana says 26. Rosalind says 11. Shobana, there is no 26. Shobana says 6. Annapurni 6. Okay. I'm not sure why all of you said 6. What do you do the first time when you read? The purpose of it is to understand the overall meaning, right? So that's number 7. The first time, remember we said that the first time the learner reads the passage or listens to the audio, we want them to understand the gist of what they are reading or what they are listening to. So the first time, the aim is the reason to understand the overall passage. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next. Do any of you have any doubts with that, since nobody got that correct? Is there any specific doubt? You can unmute and ask me why it's number 7. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody understood why this is the aim for the. I was confused with reading and first time reading. Okay, got it. Okay, so last one. Which of the following is the aim for pre-teach vocabulary? Which of the following is the aim for pre-teach vocabulary? Aishwarya says 11, Vandana says 6, Lakshmi Priya says 6, Sujata says 6, Brinda says 6, Vijula says 6. So, and the answer is 6. Excellent. So, yes, like we discussed, any words that will impede or that will not allow them to understand the passage, those are the words that we have to teach before we get them to read the passage or listen to the audio. Okay, excellent. Okay, so now we've come to the last activity in this session. Okay, I'm going to send some options on chat. Okay, I've given you 10 options. I've given you 10 options. Okay, and now I'm showing you different. These are different parts from a lesson plan. These are different activities from lesson plans. You have to tell me which stage is this activity. So the activity is, if facilities are available, show this video on the monastery. If video facilities are not available, show a picture of a monk or a monastery. Elicit the word monastery from learners. So what stage of a lesson plan do you think this particular activity will be used for? Do you think it will be used for a lead-in? Do you think it will be used for teaching vocab? What do you think it will be used for? Vandana says lead-in. Jayashree says 2, which is teaching vocab. Sujata says lead-in. Praveen says setting context. Lakshmi Priya says lead in. Okay, and the correct answer is lead in, right? Because obviously they are going to either read a passage about a monastery or about monks, or they're going to listen to an audio about monastery or monks. So first we are showing them some small video and we are showing them a picture, and we make sure that, they know what topic they are going to read or listen to. Excellent. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. This is the activity. Make paper strips with possible headings for the text. Show the students the comprehension passage and the paper strips while giving instructions. Get students to work in groups. Point through the passage and tell them that they need to quickly read through the passage and match each paragraph of the passage with the appropriate headings. Okay. Give each group a copy of the passage and a set of paper strips. So this particular activity, which stage do you think it would be used for? Which stage do you think it would be used for? Okay. Most of you are saying controlled practice. So far, nobody's got it correct. Lakshmi Priya says 2. Number 2. No, that's also not correct. Abhita and Samyukta, excellent. It is number 6, which is just reading, right? Because what are we asking them to do? We are asking them to read through the entire passage, and for each paragraph, we are asking them to match the heading. So basically, we're trying to get them to understand the gist of what the passage is about. Okay, are there any doubts with regard to this answer? You can unmute and you can ask me. Those of you who didn't get this answer correct, is this explanation which I gave you, does it make sense, or do you have any further questions? Please feel free to ask if you have any questions.
Ma'am, why does it not come under controlled practice?
Okay, what is controlled practice? What is controlled practice? And which lesson plan will you use it for? Which skill will we use controlled practice for?
Actually, assisting the students with the assignments.
No, that is not what controlled practice is. Does anybody else remember what was controlled practice? Can you tell me which skills we use controlled practice for? Anyone? Will we use controlled practice for grammar? Do we?
Functional
Yes,
language.
right?
Language
Yes,
spoken.
functional, excellent.
Functional
So
language.
functional, which is reading and which is writing and speaking, we use control practice. For grammar, we use control practice. This is a reading lesson. So first of all, in a reading lesson, there is no control practice. In a reading lesson, first they will read the lesson. I mean, they will read the passage quickly and answer a gist question. Again, we'll ask them to read the passage in more detail and answer questions which are focusing on various details within the passage. So in a reading and a listening lesson, there is no such thing as controlled practice. Only in grammar, speaking and writing, we have controlled practice. Does this clear your doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? See, you don't have to write any of these lessons plans. They already exist. You just have to deliver it. The only reason we are explaining them to you is because we want you to understand when you're following a lesson plan, why are you doing a particular stage? Why is one stage coming after the next? Why are you doing this particular activity? What is the purpose of the activity? Right? You should understand that. Otherwise, when you're delivering the plan, you will just be delivering it blindly without understanding why you are doing what you're doing. And that's not a good way to teach, right? So that's why we are trying to get you to understand the different stages. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is the next act. So this was what we looked at was just of first reading. Okay, this is the next activity. Read the passage about various members of a sports team, giving details like age, experience, interest, hobbies, etc. Answer a worksheet which asks about various attributes of each member of the sports team. So tell me, which stage of the lesson plan will this be used for? Jayashree, we just discussed that reading passages, reading lesson plans do not have controlled practice, right? So Vandana says detailed reading, Samyukta says detailed reading, Sujata says detailed reading, Aishwarya says, and that is absolutely the correct answer, because here we are asking them to read the passage and they will be reading it now for the second time. But we're asking them to look at the specific details mentioned within that passage. Excellent. Let's look at the next activity. This works well with all grammatical items like conditionals, wishes, reported speech, etc. The teacher should either call out a statement or reveal one statement at a time on the projector. The students, SS is students, okay? Students in two teams race to rewrite it in the target language. Target language means whatever we are teaching them. So conditionals will be the target language, or it could be wishes. Depends on what we are teaching. What we teach is called target language. When they have finished, they shout stop, and the other groups judge whether it's correct. If so, they get a point. If it's wrong, the next fastest group can claim the point. So which stage can this be used for? Which stage can this be used for? Think about what they are doing. Okay, when you're saying number 9, that is freer practice. Are they producing language? In freer practice, they will be producing the language, they will be saying the sentences. Okay? But in this case, the teacher is giving out the sentences, correct? So think about, is it freer practice or is it controlled practice? Yes, it is controlled practice. So Sujata, Joel, Aishwarya, Vandana, all of you are absolutely right. It is controlled practice because here we are giving them this, we are not asking like, talk to your partner about what you wish to do in the next 5 years. That is freer practice. Here, we already have a sentence. We are giving them the sentence and we are asking them to correct it. Okay, so this is controlled practice. Next activity, inform them that you will be splitting them into groups and each group gets a topic. Some of them must speak for the topic and some of them must speak against the topic. Okay, so give them a couple of minutes to prepare their arguments and then pair them up and let them speak. So what stage is this? Vandana, Vigila, Roslyn, Samyukta, Abhikta, Sujata, Aishwarya, Shobna, all of you are saying number 9 and the answer is absolutely right. It is number 9, which is freer practice. Okay, next. There's lots of names that I'm not seeing at all in this chat. It's the same people who I'm great. I'm very happy that you all are participating. But there are a lot of names: Brinda, Franklin, Kartika, Lakshmi Priya, Pavitra, Praveen, Priyanka, Radha. I'm not seeing your names at all in the chat. Usha Devi, Vinay. Oh, Vinay is Sujata, I think. Okay, so Vinay Sujata is quite active. Subhatra, intermittently active. The rest of you, Anu, Brinda, can you all please respond? Somebody said I'm giving responses. Okay, I'm sorry if I missed your response. Pavitra. Okay, Pavitra, I guess I missed it. Okay, so let's look at this activity. Elicit from learners other phrases they can use to express their opinions instead of I think. Once done, ask learners to look at the worksheet in their learner's book, go through the examples with the uh, highlighting on how these various highlighting the different ways to express opinions. Radha says, I gave responses last question. Okay, Radha, give responses for all the questions. I'll be very happy. Okay, so here's the answer. Here are the options. Which of these do you think is the correct answer? Annapurni says language focus. Shobna says 4. Samyukta says 4. Kartika says 4. Priyanka says 4. Subhatra says 4. Lakshmi Priya says 4. Okay, great. Let's have a look if you are correct, all of you. And you are absolutely right. It is language focus. Excellent. Let's move on to the next one. Teacher chooses one phrasal verb to clarify the meaning and form. Take put out, for instance. The teacher writes down the phrasal verb on the board and asks students if they know what it means. To clarify meaning, the teacher draws a candle with a flame on the board, then strikes off or erases the flame of the candle. Asks concept checking questions to clarify meaning. Does the candle still burn? No. Did I extinguish the fire? Yes. So put out means to stop something from burning. So which stage do you think this is? Think very carefully because it's very confusing. It may look like one stage, but it's actually another stage. Vigila, it's definitely not number 10. Aishwarya says 2. Radha says 2. Think carefully about what are you actually doing. Priyanka, it's definitely not 7. We're not reading anything, right? What are they reading? Franklin says 3. Abhita says 3. Aishwarya says 3. Aishwarya S says 4. Vigila says sorry, it's 3. Lakshmi Priya says 3. Sujata says 3. And you all are absolutely right. It is 3 because we are presenting grammar. It may sound like vocab, but because you have to remember that phrasal verbs come under grammar because they have a particular structure or a form. So the answer is 3, presentation of grammar. Okay, great. Look at this. Divide the class into 2 groups. Select students randomly from the groups and give them one word each from the following list. Ask students to describe the meaning of the words, draw or clues on the board, even enact it to make their group members guess the word. If the chosen students are unsure of the meaning of the words, hand them another strip of paper containing the meaning. Time the activity. Each student gets 1 minute to make his or her team member guess the word. What activity, what stage do you think this is? Samyukta says 1. No, Samyukta, sorry, it is not 1. Vigila says 2. Sujata says 2. Vandana says 8. Radha says 8. Shobana says 8. Pavitra says 9. It's definitely not 9. Anushya says 2. And the answer is 2. It is teaching vocabulary because here you're giving them different words and you're trying to teach them the meaning of the words, right? So a lot of you got the answer wrong. Do you need me to explain or is it clear now? Right? There are different words and the students by this activity, they are learning the meaning of these different words, right? So Vandana says it's clear. Okay, great. Okay, so Aishwarya is asking why is it not language focus? Okay, see in language focus, that is a stage that is used first of all when we are teaching grammar or we are teaching speaking or listening, speaking or writing. Okay, now here there are different words and they are learning the meaning of the words. So obviously they are teaching vocabulary, right? Language focus is if all the words belong to a particular theme or they are for a particular function, then you can say this could be a part of language focus, right? But here it doesn't say that they're just words. They are words from a list, right? So Aishwarya, is it clear now? Okay, great. Aishwarya S asked the question and the other Aishwarya has said it's clear. Aishwarya S, are you clear now? Aishwarya says, okay. Okay, Aishwarya. Okay, this is the next activity. Ask learners to discuss in pairs or groups of 3 or 4 why they think their favorite actor is the best. Monitor the groups as they do the speaking activity. Ensure all the learners are engaged. Don't interrupt or correct errors. Note down the phrases that they use to express opinions. Vandana says freer practice. Okay. Vandana, think about what the teacher is noting down here. Samyukta says 4. Jayashree says 1. Sujata says 1. Annapurni says freer practice. Radha says 1. Okay, unfortunately, all of you are incorrect because the answer is setting context. Okay, the answer is setting context. I'll tell you why. Okay, because, okay, last Radha said 10. You're absolutely right, Radha. It is setting context. Because what we're doing here is you're asking them to talk about their favorite actor. While they are talking, you're writing down phrases like I think, I agree, in my opinion. Okay. And then you're telling then after the discussion is over, you tell learners, these are the different phrases that you used. Okay. When you use these phrases, what were you doing? The learners may say we were expressing opinion. Excellent. Let's look at some more phrases for expressing opinion. Then you move on to the next stage where you teach them more phrases. So in the setting context phrase, you have made them understand how they use the topic of the lesson is talking about, expressing opinions. You have made them understand where they will use expressing opinions or how they will use this function in their day-to-day life, right? Uh, any questions on this or yes, Vandana, you're right. It's slightly confusing because you can use the same activity, but when you're using it as a freer practice, you won't note down the phrases. You will be noting down the errors because you will be correcting the errors after freer practice. Here, you're noting down the phrases so that you can draw their attention to these phrases and tell them that, okay, when you are expressing, when you are talking about, when you are expressing opinion, these are the kind of phrases that you use, and those phrases are used in daily life, and so that they realize that this is not any alien concept that we are teaching them. It is just just 1 minute, please, just 1 minute. I'm so sorry. Okay, so here you're just trying to get them to understand how this is used in real life. So Vandana says she got it. Aishwarya says she's clear. Are all of you clear? Everybody's all right? Okay, super. So I'm moving on. So just to summarize, before we close this particular session, your reading and your listening. Why do we club listening and reading? You have to remember because these are receptive skills. So your reading and listening plans, it starts with a lead-in where you grab the attention. Then you move on to pre-teach, where you teach meanings of words that impede the understanding of the passage. Then you move on to the first reading or listening, where you read or you listen for gist. Then we move on to the second reading, where you read for details, inference, or opinion. And then finally, you move on to post-teach, where any words that were taught through the context, you kind of reinforce those words. And finally, a follow-up activity. Okay, so the next lesson plan is grammar. Can you tell me what are the stages of the grammar lesson plan? What is the first stage? In a grammar lesson plan, what is the first stage? All of you should have it on your fingertips by now. Come on. What's the first stage? Lead in. Vandana says lead in. Nijila says lead in. Brinda says lead in. Aishwarya says lead in. Excellent. What is the second stage in your grammar lesson plan? What is the second stage in your grammar lesson plan after lead in? Shobana says setting context. Dayanati says setting. What is that, Dayanati? Setting? But I get what you mean. Pavitra, Vigila, Brinda, Roslyn, Aishwarya S, Aishwarya, all of you said setting context. Excellent. That is the answer. What comes after setting context? In a grammar lesson, what comes after setting context? Presentation of grammar, language focus, presentation of grammar, Lakshmi Priya, Shobana, Rosalind, Kartika, grammar. I'm asking you what happens in that presentation. Sujata says that language focus. Absolutely right. The next is the presentation of grammar or language focus. Okay, what comes after language focus or presentation of grammar? What's the next stage? Semi-control practice, Rosalind says. Shobna says semi-control practice. Anushya says semi-control practice. Vrinda says semi-control practice. Abhita says semi-control practice. Excellent. It's semi-control practice. And what's the last stage of your grammar lesson plan? Prior practice. Rosalind, you're on fire. Excellent. Radha, semi-control. No, Radha, after semi-control. Lakshmi Priya says prior practice. Vijila says prior practice. Sujata says prior practice. Yes, absolutely. So this is your grammar, lead in, setting context, presentation of grammar, semi-control practice or prior practice. Functional is you have a lead in, again you have a setting context, you have the language focus, semi-control practice and prior practice. That is your functional. Functional language is your speaking or your writing. Okay, now we talked about all these lesson plans, but where can you find them? Okay, and where will you have access to them? So we will provide you with a lesson plan which has all the instructions, everything that you need to do. We will provide you with classroom materials. So in order to run the lesson plan, you may need some classroom materials. It's for some activities. So in this case, you do not need, every learner does not need a copy. Only as many copies as mentioned in the lesson plan, you have to take those copies. Then you have worksheets. Every learner will have a worksheet. Now this, we have consolidated this, we have collated it and already sent it to the colleges as a workbook. So you just need to tell them turn to worksheet number whatever in the workbook. Okay. So classroom material, you need to take printouts as many as mentioned in the lesson plan. Lesson plan, if you can see it from your laptop or your phone, that's fine. If you want to refer to it, you can always take a printout. That's up to you. Okay. You will not be getting any book. Everything will be sent to you on soft copy, as a soft copy. And then we have the worksheet key, which is the answers for the worksheet. So let me now show you how this is and where this is. So again, I'm sure you remember this link that you had for trainers. Okay, and over here you have something called F2F material. This is face-to-face material. If you click onto this, you will have LP1. LP1 is lesson plan 1. You have LP2. LP2 is lesson plan 2. LP3. LP3 is lesson plan 3 and so on. Okay. One lesson plan is to be delivered in one classroom period, which is 1 hour. Now, when you click onto a lesson plan, you will find a regular document, okay, like this. This is the lesson, the actual lesson plan. Now, if you see, it will give you details of exactly what you have to do. Greet the students. Ask them what they usually do on the weekend. Elicit responses. Tell them your friends from other cities are coming to your place the following weekend and you want to take them out. Ask them for suggestions where you can take them. Then pre-teach vocabulary. Cut up the chits from CM2 and stick them on the walls around the classroom. Tell students they're going to play a game called runners and writers. So like this, it will give you detailed instructions of how to run each activity and what to do in the class. So remember that all our lessons are activity based, but how to do each activity will be clearly mentioned in this, and you just need to do the activities as mentioned. Okay, now you have the CM. I told you the CM will be mentioned. So over here you have the CM. So over here it said you just have to take a printout, cut this and paste it. So you need only one copy. Okay. Then you also have, this is the worksheet. So these worksheets is WS is the worksheet. Like I told you, WS is already compiled and it's sent to the learner. But you have the answers. You will have the worksheet with the answers So you can refer to this when you're correcting the exercises in the worksheet. Okay, now I would like to open up for any questions you have about these. So you will have online access to all these lesson plans. The students will have a workbook, which is all the worksheets consolidated. Please type out any doubts you might have on chat and I will clarify it. Yes, Roslyn, you've asked workbook. That's not a question. What is the question, Roslyn?
Ma'am, actually, we will ask them to do the activity in the workbook. So
Yes.
then and there we can't do that, right? So every day we have to ask them to submit it and we have to correct it, or else
No,
in
no,
the
no, no,
spot,
no.
on
There
the
is no
spot we
such
have.
correction. This is not
Okay.
school. You will not be taking
Uh-huh.
any books home for correction. Then and there you have the answer key. So in your lesson plan itself, if you see, it will tell you. Now look at this. Okay. Second reading. Okay. Look at, can you see my screen? Okay, just zoom in.
Yes.
It will say here, make students work in groups. Ask them to turn to WS2, question number 1. Do a calorie walk. Ask students to move around the class, reading the poster and answering the questions given in activity 1. But they must move in groups in a clockwise direction. Tell them they have 7 minutes to complete the task. Okay, now once they finish all this, ask them to check the answers in the group. Do a whole class feedback to check answers. That's all. Okay, all correction and checking happens in the class. There is no taking home anything to correct because you all are not school teachers. Okay.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Vandana, so LP1 is for 1 hour and we do 2 batches per day. Each batch is 3 hours. So we need to download LP1, 2, and 3. You're absolutely right, Vandana. Some trainers are doing 6 hours a day. Some trainers are, I mean, everyone's doing 6 hours a day, but some trainers are doing 3 hours for a batch and some trainers are doing 6 hours for a batch. So if you have been allotted 3 hours for a batch, you need LP1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now for the first batch, you will do 1, 2, and 3. The second day, you will be asked, you will get a fresh batch. Again, you will do the same 1, 2, and 3 for them. The third day, you will get a new batch. Again, you will do 1, 2, and 3 for them. So in a week, you basically have to be thorough with 3 lesson plans, which you will keep delivering again and again and again. If you are doing 6 lesson plans per batch, then you have to be thorough with 6 lesson plans, which you will be doing again and again and again for different batches in a particular week. The next week, you will move on to less LP4, LP5, and LP6. That you will repeat for every batch that week. Vandana says, got it. What about the others? Did you all get it?
Ma'am, once again, ma'am, actually I got batch 1 for one college and batch 2 for the same college. So I have to take lesson plan 1. After that, in the batch 2, I have to take the lesson plan 2. And the other day, like that only, right?
No, 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 no. Please think logically,
No.
Vandana. Sorry, who's this?
It's,
Rosalind. Okay,
yeah.
if you take lesson plan 1 for the first batch and take lesson plan 2 for the second batch, then when will the second batch do lesson plan 1, Rosalind?
Okay, so I have to take that 1, 2, 3 batches. I have to repeat the three things again and again, like first 3
Yeah,
hours.
that's what I said. That's what I said.
Okay,
You have to
okay,
do lesson plan 1, 2, and 3 for the first batch. If you get a
okay,
second batch, the second batch again you have to do lesson plan 1, 2, and 3.
okay, fine. Thank you so much.
Okay? Yeah, you're welcome. Jayashree, you said you're doing 6 colleges. Jayashree, it doesn't matter how many colleges you're doing. The point is, when you do a new batch, okay, every time you start a batch, the first week, when you start a batch, you have to do lesson plan 1, 2, and 3. If it's in the same college or if it's a different college, doesn't matter. Every time you have a new batch, it is lesson plan 1, 2, and 3. Okay, when you get the next batch, again you do 1, 2, and 3. Then that next batch may be in the same college, it may be in a different college, but the lesson plan that you have to deliver is 1, 2, and 3. If your schedule is 3 hours per batch, some people have when will we be intimated by the batches previously? What does that mean, Vigil? I don't even understand your question.
Actually, I'm
What do
asking
you
like if we are going to take for the first batch and we have completed LP 1, 2, and 3,
okay?
and for the next day we'll be going for the LP 4, right, ma'am?
No, you will not be
So
doing that in the next day because that particular batch will only have one batch
for the
is
next
only for
time we are
1.
going for the that particular batch.
Yeah, yeah. The next time you go
Okay,
for
okay,
the
okay.
particular
That is
batch,
what I'm
yes.
asking.
Yeah. When you go for the next
Okay, okay. Thank you.
next class, when you go for that batch, then yes, you have to take the next set of lessons.
So batch one, two, three, four. It is like again, if I'm getting the batch one, I have to teach them the three, four, five kind of like that, ma'am. I'm bit
I'm not
confused in
sure
that.
why all of you getting so confused. See,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
because
simple. No, it's very simple. I think you're not focusing. Just focus. Okay. Now, one batch has to go. You have to take 40 hours for one batch. The first time you see that batch, you take LP 1, 2, and 3. The next time you see that batch will only be next week. Then you take LP 4, 5, and 6. The next time you see that batch will be the following week, week 3. Then you take 6, 7, and 8. Is it clear? But in 1 week, you will be getting different batches. You will not get the same batch twice in a week. So in 1 week, you will only be teaching 3 lesson plans. Again and again and again, you will teach those 3 lesson plans to different batches. The next week, you will take the next 3 lesson plans and teach that to different batches. Is this clear now? Praveen says it's very clear.
Hi, ma'am. What are the stuff we need to take photocopy, like attendance sheet and?
Yeah, attendance sheet, like I said, you have to take, and class doubts. Whatever is mentioned in the lesson plan, that's it. Is it clear? Can you hear me?
Your voice breaks out, ma'am.
Yeah, I said,
Ma'am, actually, I'm having a doubt, ma'am.
Yeah.
Within 3 hours, the batch session will be over, no, ma'am. But for me, first batch is from morning 9:40 to evening 4:30. Within 3 hours, if the program is getting over, how, ma'am?
So that's what I said specifically, that some of you are doing 3 hours per batch and some of you are doing 6 hours in a batch. It
Okay, so
depends
till
on your
6:30.
schedule. Okay,
Okay,
because
okay,
it
ma'am.
depends on the college. Some colleges wanted, we will give you one batch, whole day you teach that one batch. So you teach 6 hours for the batch. Some colleges
Oh,
said one batch is available only for 3 hours. So you do for 3 hours. The next 3 hours, see, all of you will be teaching same 6 hours, except some of you who have only half day. If there are not enough colleges, then we will only give you a half day or whatever it is, right? But most of you will be teaching the whole day. Some of you in that whole day, you will be going to 2 colleges. If you're going to 2 colleges, the first or 2 batches in the same college. So the first batch you will teach lesson plan 1, 2, 3. The next batch you will teach lesson plan 1, 2, and 3. It may be in the same college, it may be in different colleges. Now, some of you may get a schedule where you are asked to teach 6 hours for one batch. Then you will teach lesson plan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yeah, so in 1 week, every batch will only have one class. That's it. As in, it will be, it might, I mean, one class as in one session, which may be 3 hours, it may be 6 hours, but only one session. The next time you see that class will be the next week. Okay, I think it is clear now. So I'm going to, there are totally 40 lesson plans, 40 hours that you have to cover for each batch. Okay, now I am going to give you a 5-minute break and then we are going to come back for the final session. This is a very important session. So take a break, use the restroom, have a glass of water, grab a coffee, just take a break from my voice going on and on for 2 hours, and then we will meet again in 5 minutes. It's now 6:35. At 6:40, we will start the next session. I want to make sure that we wind up at 7:30, and I mean, we wind up by 7:20, so there's 10 minutes for questions, and I don't want to keep you any longer than 7:30. So 6, now it's 6:36, so we'll start at 6:41. I will start the next session. Okay, 5-minute break. See you guys soon. Not sure if all of you are back. I'm just going to give you a couple more minutes in case you're actually grabbing coffees. I guess it takes more than 5 minutes to make a coffee. Okay, we have people saying, I'm here, I'm back. That's nice. Praveen, Vandana, Annapurni, Lakshmipriya, Priyanka, Jayashree, Kartika. Thank you for coming back on time. Really appreciate that. Aishwarya says she's back. Dinesh says he's joined. Subhatra says she's back. Fantastic. Okay, Vandana has some questions. Yes, Vandana, just give me a minute and I will answer your questions. Okay, so is there any dress code for the college? See, we haven't been communicated with any. We haven't been informed of any dress code. It's a government college. I suggest for ladies, you go in with a salwar with a dupatta, is what my suggestion would be, or something decent like a kurta with a scarf or something like that, is what I think would be a appropriate and a safe bet. For men, I think avoid jeans and things like that. Just trousers, pants, and shirt would be fine. Avoid t-shirts and jeans and etc. I think the second question is, for some reason, if you're not able to complete the LP in the stipulated time, what do you do? So, see, I think there is every chance that you won't be able to complete the lesson plan within the stipulated time, simply because of the language level of these learners. Okay, it is not, definitely not going to be very high. So they are going to struggle. You are going to struggle to finish the lesson plan. Try your best to finish it. It is good because, like you saw, there's an entire stage. So if you finish the whole lesson plan, it will be very effective for the learner. Try to finish it. But if you have an issue and you're unable to finish it, then it's all right, let it be. And the next class you need to kind of see if you can time yourself better. Okay, Aishwarya, if you have got you want to take leave in case of an emergency, to whom do you have to inform? There will be a person who will be your point of contact, that is somebody taking care of your region. You will have to inform them. And Aishwarya, I need to tell you that leave is something that is actually very difficult, because we need to, if you can see how much of work goes into understanding the lesson plan, right? So for us to find someone in the last minute to take over, like it is very difficult. But because you said emergency, yes, of course, if there's no other way, then please keep us informed as early as possible and we'll have to look for a replacement. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the third session. What can we hope to achieve here? Now we are going to, in this session, we're going to look at some communicative language. Annapurni asking how to divide the time. You don't need to divide any time. The lesson plan clearly tells you how long you should be spending on each stage. If you just follow that, you will not have any problems. Okay, the lesson plan is a monkey's guide. If you follow the lesson plan correctly, you can deliver the lesson correctly. That's it. It's literally It's written in such detail that literally anybody with some basic language skills can do the lesson plan. Okay, so what are we going to do in this session? Any other questions? I will keep it for the end. I'd like to start on this session now. So we are going to be looking at this. Okay, now first of all, tell me, when do we give instructions? On chat, let me know, when do we give instructions? Or rather, why do we give instructions? Before any activity, Vandana says, okay. Before starting the lesson, okay. Anushya says prior to any activity, okay. Great. So basically, every time you want them to do something. No, Rosalind, it's not only for freer practice. Instructions have to be given all the time. If you want them to change seats, if you want them to do an activity, if you want them to bring something to the class, you want them to do some kind of a task, anything requires instructions. Okay. Now I'm going to give out some instructions. Just observe. Okay, class. So today we are going to do a worksheet. Okay, we're going to be doing a worksheet where you have to complete the, you have to complete the gap. Priya, look here, look at me. Okay, so you have to complete. You have to take the words and put it into the worksheet, put it into the gaps. Sabin, how many times have I told you not to keep turning around? Look over here. Okay, so you choose the correct word and put it into the gap. Tejas, Tejas, stop talking, Tejas. Okay, now tell me, what was wrong with this delivery, or was it good? Were the instructions clear? Were the instructions clear?
No,
No.
ma'am.
Pavitra says no. Rosalind says commenting. Vinay says no. Aisha says no. Okay, what was the problem with the instructions? Why was it not clear? Please respond on chat. Why was it not clear? Interruptions. Vandana says a lot of interruptions. Okay, what else? What about how fast was I talking? Interpretation. I don't understand what you mean by that, Pavitra. Vandana says space. Yes, I was talking quite fast. Priyanka says I was distracted. Absolutely. And I was causing also distraction. Okay. So let me do it again. And now you tell me how it is. Okay. Okay, students, all of you look here. We're going to do this activity. Here you go. Okay, let's do this activity, right? So we are going to be doing this worksheet. Here, can you see there are lots of words over here, and below the words, can you see that there are gaps? Okay, we are going to take the words from the words on top and fill it into the gaps. Okay, let's get started. Were those instructions better? Were those instructions better? Okay, great. Why were they better? What was better about the instructions? Show and tell. Okay, great. Proper information. What do you mean, Radha? Proper information. Pace was better. Yes. Sujata said pace was better. Absolutely. What else? Okay. So when you're giving instructions, like some of you said, the first thing you need to do is call the attention of the learners. Okay. Call the attention of the learners. You want to make sure that they are focusing on you, right? And once they're focusing on you, then you can give the instructions, right? Now I held the worksheet like this in front of me, okay, and I gave the instructions. Did I when is it a good time for you to ask them to look at the worksheet? Before giving instruction or after giving the instruction? Should you ask them to look at the worksheet before you give the instructions or after you give the instructions? Vandana says before. Aishwarya says before. Lakshmi Priya says after. Dayanidhi says after. Rosalind says after. Okay, you're absolutely right. It is after. Why? Why should you give them the worksheet only after you give the instructions? Why should you give them the worksheet only after you give the instructions? To give an idea, they may not focus on instructions. Excellent, Aishwarya, right? So if you give them the worksheet while you are giving instructions, they will be busy looking at the worksheet, fidgeting, checking whether the next person has the same worksheet. They'll be totally distracted. So you need to make sure that you show them the worksheet like this so that they know what the worksheet looks like, and you give them the instructions, but you do not have to give them the worksheet at that stage because they will get very distracted. Okay, excellent. So let's look at this. How should your instructions be? First, draw the attention of the students. Do not start giving instructions till all students are listening. Use simple short sentences and speak in a clear and a voice with a normal speed. Okay. What are the different ways in which you can give instructions? What are the different ways in which you can give instructions? We just looked at one, chesting, right? This is where I held the worksheet in front of me and I showed it to the students. This is called chesting. Okay, great. Now let's do another activity. I would like all of you to take a piece of paper. Just take a piece of paper, just an A4 sheet of paper. You don't have to write anything of it, so it can even be a used piece of A4 sheet. So please do that, and I'm going to ask you to put your cameras on. So please be ready to put your cameras on in case some of you are sitting in clothes that you don't want us to see. Then you might want to put a quick dupatta or something on yourself. Okay. Okay, so can I have your cameras on? All of you? Okay. Yay, Samyukta, thank you for putting your camera on. Brinda, Radha, nice to see all of you all. Sujata, Anusya, Subhatra. Okay, we're still waiting for some more people to put their cameras on. Aishwarya, Anu, Brinda. Oh, Brinda's camera is on. Okay, you've logged in twice. Dinesh, Jayashree, Joe, Kartika, Pavitra, Ushadevi, and Vijaya. Okay, please put your cameras on. Now, this is a sheet of paper. I want you to follow my instructions and do whatever I'm telling you to do with the sheet of paper. Are you ready? Okay. So put the sheet of paper on the table, fold it lengthwise in half so that the long sides are together. This means you have to fold the long sides, fold the top corners into the center, make nice crisp corners using your nails, fold the angled edge center fold. Now fold along the center line. This fold should hide all the other folds inside. Now fold the wings down, okay, to make, fold it down to make wings, and it should be crisp and use hard edges like your. Okay, now show me your aeroplanes. Are they ready? Show me your aeroplanes. Is it ready? Were my instructions clear?
No, it was fast.
No,
So
ma'am.
no.
It was fast. Okay. So, okay, let's try again. Okay. Take the sheet of paper, fold it like this, fold it in half like this. Okay. Do this. So, this is what your piece of paper will look like. And then make this put this so that it is okay. Next, you open this up. After you fold it, you open it up, you will have a center fold here. Okay, have all of you done this? Can I see? Can I please see your whatever you folded?
Your video is not visible for me.
Okay, let me just see. Is everybody able to see me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
couldn't see you.
That's odd. Some of you can see me and some of you can't. I can see myself. No? Not able to see me?
No.
No, I can hear you properly, but I couldn't see you.
Okay, but you need to just click on to my screen, like my face or whatever. It
Okay,
will say Vijaya. Yeah, once you click onto that, you'll be able to see me. Can you see me now?
No.
to change the layout. Then only she can able to see the screen.
So in your views, go to a gallery view and then just click on to me. You can see me in a bigger screen. Because in gallery view, you'll be able to see everybody. Just click on
Just
to
pin
me.
it actually. You'll be able to see.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope all of you are able to see me now. Okay. So you fold your paper like this and you do this. Okay. So you will get something that looks like this. Now you open this up. Can I see your papers, please? All of you? Can you hold your papers up? There should be a middle edge. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Now I want you to fold this corner like this. Okay. Fold it over here like this. Can you all see that? Okay, I think somebody has to mute themselves. So they're giving instructions to someone in their house. Okay, here you go. Okay, should be folded like this. Now, after you do this, again, you need to do one more fold like this. Can I see your papers? One more fold like this. So now you will have something that looks like this. So there's a first fold and then a second fold. Okay. Once this is done, then you fold it this way. Right? It will look like this. So first we did this fold, one fold, and then after we did that, one more fold like this. Then we folded it this way, and you have something that looks like this. Now on both the sides, you can fold this like this. See, you'll have these kind of flaps. Both the sides folded down, and you'll have these flaps. And you have a nice aeroplane. Can I see your aeroplanes? Super, nice, Sujata. What about the rest of you? Can I see your aeroplanes? Radha, aeroplane looks good. Shobana, aeroplane is like set to reach space. It's got some extra wings and all, fabulous. Priyanka, great. Okay, so tell me, what was easier to follow this time around? Was it easier to follow? And why was it easier to follow? Slow, clear
Demonstration.
instructions. Yeah, you can just type out on chat, slow, clear instructions, pausing and asking to check. Whoever had said demonstrations, you're absolutely right. Right, step by step demonstration. Right. So one of the main ways in which when you give instructions, especially when you have a series of instructions, you need to give the instructions step by step. What is it called when we give instructions set step by step? What is that called? It's called staging. Okay, where you don't give your instructions all at once. You give it at one point, and then you wait for everyone to carry out the instructions, and then you go to the next instruction. This is called staging. Okay, and the different ways to give instructions, like we saw, another way is demonstration, where sometimes it's much easier when you see something being done, they will understand it very quickly. So we use demonstration. Right. Now, once you give instructions, is it effective to ask, did you understand? If you ask your class, did you understand? Is that a good way to check if they have understood instructions? Do you think it's a good way?
No, we can ask, can you follow me?
Okay, can you type out your answers on chat, please? Do you think it's a good way? Do you think it's a good idea to ask, do you understand? Okay, Vandana saying yes, Samyukta saying yes, Shobna. So when you ask students, do you understand? Do you think they will ever say no? Do you think students will ever say no? If you ask them, do you understand? Do you think they would ever say no? Yeah, Pavitra says no. They definitely won't. Because when you ask students, do you understand? They will say yes, just to get you to move on to the next thing, right? Because they don't want you to further talk about it. So they'll say, yes, 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 we understood. Okay, okay, go on. Right? Or they don't want to seem stupid in front of their friends. Right? So the answer will always be yes. But do you know whether they've really understood the instructions or not? You will not know, right? So it is better you ask certain questions to figure out whether or not they have understood the instructions. What kind of questions can you ask? What kind of questions can you ask? Questions about what was discussed, okay? Have you folded the paper? Does it look like? Excellent, Vandana. Specific questions like this. Okay, great. Questions related to the topic. We are talking about instructions here, okay? Like you asked us starting of the demo, which side did you fold? Excellent, right? So you ask specific questions which can be yes or no. So you ask yes or no questions. That is one way of doing this, okay? Where you ask yes or no questions, right? You ask them, do you do this? Do you do that? Like you ask them very specific questions for which the answer is yes or no. Excellent. Can you also ask open-ended questions? Can you also ask open-ended questions? Some actions like sharing content. Okay. One. Just give me a minute. For some reason, it's not allowing me to share content. So I have to I'm so sorry. It was not allowing me to present, so I had to rejoin. Give me a minute to sort this out. I'm extremely sorry. I'm extremely sorry. There was a problem with the device. I don't know. It's stopped. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes, I
ma'am.
can.
Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. People are saying yes. I'm assuming you can hear me. Great. So okay, so getting back to what we had said, you can ask yes or no questions. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I can.
Yes. Okay, great, great. Sorry, this was the confusion, I think. Okay. So you can ask yes or no questions. The second thing that you can do is, so example is, are you going to be working in groups? Second thing that you can do is ask open-ended questions. Example, what are you going to look for in a passage, in this passage? Okay. So in this way, you can use a variety of instruction checking questions. Okay. The other thing you can do is ask students to repeat what instructions were given. Right? For example, can anyone tell me what we have to do? So I want you to tell me what are the instruction checking questions. If these are the instructions, what will be the instruction checking questions? Okay. Joel, can you tell me what would be an instruction checking question for this? Vandana says, what will all the A's do? Okay, great, Vandana. Joel, can I hear from you? You can unmute and you can speak. Okay, let's go back to chat then. All of you can send your responses on chat. What should you not show your partner? Yes, Vandana. Anybody else? What are the other instruction checking questions you can ask for this? You have given these instructions. Okay, but what questions, what B will do? Okay, Rosalind, yes, you can ask what will B do. What else can you ask? What is the role of B here? Excellent. What else? Who's going to listen to your partner's instructions? Very good. Can you show the picture to your partner? Excellent. So you all have got the idea. You need to ask very specific questions so that you ensure that Annapurni, B will listen and A will speak is not a question. Okay. I'm asking what are questions that you can ask to ensure that the instructions are understood. Okay. Next we move on to eliciting. Okay. Next we move on to eliciting. What is eliciting? Quickly on chat, we're running behind schedule thanks to all these technical issues and the many queries that we had. So Samyukta says student responses. Vigila, description, no. Eliciting is not description. Priyanka, explain, no. Eliciting is not explain. Franklin says to bring out, excellent. That's exactly what eliciting means. It means to draw out. It's a technique in which we use the technique which we use to find out what the students know about something. Okay. Very often we think of students as an empty vessel. We think of students as this. Are students an empty vessel? Yes or no? Vandana says no, Brinda says no, Rosalind says no, Samyukta says no. Absolutely not. They are not an empty vessel. They are a glass half full. Some part of it is full, but some part of it is empty. Right? So why is it important to elicit? Why is it important to elicit? Quickly on chat, why is it important to elicit from the students? Why is it important to keep asking students questions? To check their existing knowledge about the topic, excellent. Priyanka says to know about their knowledge, excellent. Kartika says to know what they understand. Good. Radha says to bring out whatever they know. Great. Annapurni says to check their understanding. Franklin says to get their point of view. Okay. Lakshmi Priya says to know their strengths and weakness. I don't know about strengths and weakness, but how much they know about the topic. Okay, great. So one is you need to find out what the students know and how much they know already. Then you can start teaching them only what they don't know. Okay. And it keeps the students involved. Like Samyukta says, some will be passive learners. You can ensure that students are made active by asking them about for their opinion and suggestions while eliciting. Okay, so what can we elicit? Vocabulary. A is vocabulary, B is prior information about the topic, C is opinion, D is all of the above. What can we elicit? Rosalind says D. Aishwarya says B. Franklin says D. Brinda says all of the above. Sujata says D. Absolutely. You can elicit all these things from students. You can elicit vocabulary, you can elicit features, attributes of an object, you can elicit earlier information that they have, you can elicit ideas, opinions, any information that they already know, right? When can you elicit? When can you elicit? Before you begin a session, during the session, and even after the session to check what they've understood, right? So eliciting is something that you should be doing throughout. How can we elicit? You can ask questions. Close-ended, yes or no questions, or open-ended questions. Now I'm going to do some demonstrations and we are going to look at some questions after that. Okay. This is demonstration 1. So Vandana has a question. When we ask eliciting or checking understanding questions, should we open the questions to all or call out specific names? Okay, so I think initially open the questions to all, and then you will find that there are some students that are constantly answering, which is great because you want to encourage such students, but at the same time, you want to make sure that others also get a chance, which is why you need after a certain point to slowly probably call out specific students. So once they're comfortable in your class, so that you can ensure that everybody gets involved. So it will intimidate them only if you do it like in the first or second class, you start calling out names. Yes, it will be intimidating. But initially, after you build a rapport, you can start calling out students' names. Okay. So let's do a demonstration. Okay, students, so tell me, what is this? Okay, I'm going to call on one student and I want you to, I'm going to call on one of your, Brinda, can you put your, can you take yourself off mute and switch your mic on?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Brinda, can you tell me where will you find this, piece of furniture?
Uh, in the guest room.
Okay, Brinda, you've logged on 2 devices, so it's going to have an echo. Franklin, can you get yourself off mute, please?
No, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, Brinda, it's okay because you've logged in 2 devices. I'll ask Franklin. Okay, Franklin, can you tell me where you might find this?
In a living room, ma'am.
Okay, great. Franklin, tell me, how many arms does this have?
2 arms, ma'am.
Okay. Dayanidhi, can you tell me how many legs does it have?
It has 4 legs.
Okay, excellent. Jayashri, can you tell me how many people can sit in this?
1.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so it has 2 arms, 4 legs, 1 person can sit. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell me what was the answer? A, B, or C?
Ma'am, can you show it again?
Yes, can you see it now? A, B, or C?
Features of
I,
an object.
yeah, features of an object. Great. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. This time, can I have Anusia? Anusia, can you tell me what is this?
Yes, ma'am.
What is this, Anusia? Anusia, can you tell me what is this? Okay, I'm not sure why Anusia is not
The picture
answering.
is gone. The picture is not seen on
The
the screen.
picture is gone. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Anusia, what is this?
This is a market, ma'am.
Okay, great. Rosalind, can you tell me what do you call the people who are selling the things in the market?
Sellers.
Sellers. Very good. Very good. Hariharan, can you tell me what do you call the people buying things in the market?
Customers.
Okay, great. Radha, can you tell me if somebody is selling a very high price, how do you get them to lower the price? What will you do?
By bargaining them.
Okay, by
To
bargaining.
have
Okay, great.
against.
Okay, great. So now tell me, all of you on chat, A, B, or C. What did I elicit? A, B, or C?
B.
B. Yeah, on chat. Okay, yes, the answer is B. Okay, great. Now, Sujata, tell me, if I go to the market and I have 1,000 rupees, if you go to the market and you have 1,000 rupees, what would you buy?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
If you go to the market and you have 1,000 rupees, what would you buy?
To this particular market?
Yes, this market, yes.
Fruits.
Okay, which ones?
Apples.
Okay, great. Okay, now tell me, what did I elicit here? Was it A, B, or C? On chat, y'all can just tell me, is it A, B, or C? Okay, most of you are saying C, and the answer is C. Excellent. Okay, the last demonstration. Usha Devi, can you tell me, what do you know about aliens? Usha Devi, what do you know about aliens? Usha Devi. Okay. Abita, what do you know about aliens, Abita? Abita, we're not able to hear you. Okay, somebody else? Anyone? What do you know about aliens?
Who is living in another solar system or other
Living
planet?
in another
from
solar
another
system.
planet.
People from another planet. What
People
else?
not of our species.
Not of our species. Excellent. So what did I elicit? A, B, or C?
B.
What did I elicit? A, B, or C? Okay, everyone says A, absolutely. I was checking what you already know about aliens. Okay. Elicit previous information. So when you're eliciting, these are all the different things you can elicit. Okay, before I move on, I need to apologize. It's 7:30 and I will take another 10 minutes. Very sorry about this, but I think we had a lot of technical delays, not to mention a lot of queries. So I will continue, take another 10 minutes. Okay, now when we are doing um, language activities, okay, we are testing two things. We are focusing on two things. One is
Ma'am, I couldn't hear you.
What
Ma'am,
is
for me, it's not
fluency?
audible.
What is fluency?
Ma'am, could you repeat me again, please? I lost your
What?
audio.
Yeah, what is fluency? Any of you, what is fluency?
Confidence enough to speak out.
Okay, anyone else?
The ease of speaking
The
continuously
ease of
without too
speaking
many breaks. Yeah.
without rambling. Okay. Anybody else? What is fluency? The flow, absolutely, right? The flow with which you use the language so that the entire message or the bigger picture is conveyed. That is fluency. What is accuracy? What is accuracy? You can
Providing
answer
by
on chat.
delivering the correct answer means what we have to deliver, we have to tell in a crisp manner and very clearly.
Not really. What else? What any other answers? What is accuracy?
The message is clearly conveyed in proper grammar and vocabulary without distortion in meaning.
Yeah. So a lot of you are saying it's to the point and things like that. That is not accuracy. That's what accuracy means in real life. But in language teaching, accuracy is not precision and stuff like that. Accuracy is your grammar and your vocab. So it is how correct the language is. Fluency is the message understood. Accuracy is how good is the language that you've used in terms of vocabulary, grammar, etc. Okay, so accuracy is how correct the language usage is in terms of grammar, spelling, vocab, etc. Right? Is it clear? Can you all hear me? First of all,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, we
okay,
can hear
great.
you
And
we
you
can
can
see
see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
great. Okay, so moving on. Now, these are some of the fluency activities and these are some accuracy activities. So when you ask them to complete a grammar worksheet or you do a drill for pronunciation, all these improve accuracy. But when you want to improve fluency, you will do something like a skit or a role play, or you might ask them to do a poster conversation, or you might ask them to write an essay.
Can you hear me?
Lots
So when you are doing fluency activities, should you be, which of the following should you be? Should you be A or B? Should your classroom look like A or B? When doing fluency activities, should your classroom look like A or B? Okay, all of you are saying A. So you want to stand in the front and have all your students sit in a row? No, that is not how step classes are. It would be B, where you get them to work in groups and you are walking around. Now, when you are walking around, do you interrupt them when they are talking? Do you interrupt them when they are speaking and when they are doing their activity? No, absolutely not. Right? You do not interrupt them. What will happen if you interrupt them? What will happen if you interrupt
the flow will be disrupted.
Yes, the flow will be disrupted. Okay. So what do you do if you find that they have made a mistake? When you are walking around and you are, doing this, watching this, what do you do if you find that they made a mistake? Okay, before we move on to that, tell me, why do you have to walk around like this? What's the purpose of you walking around? Why are you walking around like this? What is the purpose of you walking around? Aishwarya, can you tell me what is the purpose of you walking around?
To observe them, ma'am.
Okay, what do you want? Why do you want to observe them? What do you want to see?
There are two categories. The one category, if we are giving them activity in a group, one may be silent and the other two will be working.
Okay.
So we should know who are active and who are passive. And
Okay,
that
great.
next one is how they are doing this activity.
Okay, so you want to make sure that they're doing the activity properly. Okay, great.
Yes.
And you want to make sure that everybody is involved, right? Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Samyukta, can you tell me what else is the purpose of you walking around like this? What else might be the purpose? Samyukta? Okay, I don't know what's happened to Samyukta. Vandana, can you tell me what else might be the purpose?
Yes, to check the whether the understanding is apt, and to make a note of common errors that can be highlighted after the
Okay,
activity.
great. So you will make note of the errors. Should we interrupt them and correct their errors, or should we only make a note of it?
Only
Sujata, can
make
you
a note
tell
of
me what you think? Do you think we should correct them, or do you think we should make a note?
No, we make a note of it.
Okay, Vigila, can you tell me why? Why should we make a note and not correct them on the spot?
They
Vigila?
maybe yes, ma'am. They may
Yeah.
get distracted if you're correcting them on the spot.
Yes.
And
Do you think?
all the other learners will also come to know their mistakes, and they will not do the same mistakes then.
Okay, so you're saying we should correct them, or you're saying we shouldn't correct them?
We shouldn't correct them on spot.
Okay. Yeah, we shouldn't correct them on the spot because yes, they lose their flow. But the other problem is, how do you think it'll affect their confidence? Shobana, what do you think will happen to their confidence if we correct them on the spot? Shobana, yeah?
They will feel low, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, it will affect their confidence, right? So when you're monitoring, you want to make sure that all the learners are on track, they're working on their activities, not doing anything else, making sure they finish their tasks in time, identifying learners who have problems with the activities, and also note down the errors, right? Now these are two errors that I noted. She can't able to. Can you tell me what is wrong? Like in a freer practice activity, I noted these two sentences that learners made. Okay. And I have written them down. At the end of the class, I'm writing this on the board. She can't able to. Now, can you tell me what is wrong with this sentence? Priyanka, what is wrong with this sentence? She can't able to.
If we say she can't able to means the particular student will lose her confidence, ma'am. So next time if we give any activity means she won't
No,
do
no, no.
properly,
I
because
think you misunderstood. I'm asking this open to everybody. This is a sentence she can't able to. Is it a correct sentence? Anybody can
No,
answer.
it's not a
no,
correct
it's a wrong
It's
sentence.
sentence
not.
because
What is
can't
wrong
and
with the
able
sentence?
shows the ability.
Negative approach.
Okay. What
No,
is wrong with the
and
sentence?
can't and able to cannot be used together. So if we are saying can't, it will just be she can't do it. And if we are saying
Okay.
able to, then she
Or
is
not
not
able.
able to do
Yes,
it.
because can and able are both showing ability. So you won't use both of them together, right? You'll either use she can't do whatever the activity is, or she is not able to, right? One of the two. Now, when I correct it in this manner, the girl or the boy or the whichever learner has made this mistake, will they feel embarrassed? Did I mention any name? Will they feel embarrassed?
No, they will not. They will
They
learn
will
and
not. But
focus
other
on it.
learners who might make this similar mistake or who have made this similar mistake in the past or who might make the similar mistake in the future, will they also learn from this?
Yes.
Yes. The person who made the mistake, will they realize that this is their error and they will also learn from it?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
So everyone's learning from it, but is anyone feeling bad?
No, no, no.
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 Okay. Now, next question. Why we do this delayed correction? Like I said, flow is not interrupted. Students correct the errors. Names are not mentioned. Students are not embarrassed, and everybody learns from each other's mistakes. But tell me, when you are noting down these errors and you're monitoring the activity and noting down the errors, how many errors should you note? A, all the errors made by the learners. B, all grammar errors made by the learner. Or C, 4 to 5 errors that are made by the majority of the class. What is the answer?
C.
C. C, everyone C? C, yes, right? Why not all the errors?
Practically, it is not possible
We
to
may
make note
not
of
find
all the
enough
errors.
time to explain.
Yes, you might not have enough time. It's difficult to note down all the errors. What do you think will happen to students' attention when you talk about error after error and you correct like 25 errors? What do you think will happen to their attention span?
They will lose the interest and attention.
Yes, they will lose interest and they will not participate at all. So even if you are teaching them 5 things, teach those 5 things properly rather than try to cover 20 things and mess it up. Okay, so the answer is 4 to 5 errors. Okay, what do you do when you hear a student making an error during a speaking activity? A, announce to the class that student X made the error. B, note it down, correct it along with the other errors when you do delayed error correction. C, interrupt him and correct him on the spot. Answers? B, yes, all of you have said B. Fantastic. Moving on. Why is it important to do delayed whole class feedback? Students can complete their train of thought. B, everyone learns from others' mistakes. C, nobody is embarrassed. D, all of the above.
All of the above.
Yes, everybody is saying D, all of the above. Fantastic. Okay, so delayed error correction, monitor, note down 4 or 5 common errors, write these errors on the board, elicit from the students the right answer, don't mention names. Okay, so with that, we've come to the end of the session. I've taken 10 minutes extra of your time. Once again, I apologize for that. But now is a good time to ask me any further questions you might have about this session. Any
Yes,
questions?
Vijaya.
Ma'am,
Yes.
when did we get the link to get access?
I will check with the team, but I think they would be. Can the rest of you who are not speaking, please put yourself on mute? Yes, I'll check with the team. I think your contact will be able to send it to you shortly. So I think once you've attended the session, we'll share the link.
Okay.
Because without attending the session, if you get the link, it's a little confusing.
Ma'am, if I have any doubt, then who can I contact?
So like I said, there will be a contact person from STEP that will be assigned to you. They will be in touch with you and they will coordinate with you with regards to, any doubts you have and things like that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, hello.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Ma'am, if they
Are
are
we
not
provided
able to
with any
understand
identity
English,
to
then
the
can we tell to
colleges?
explain them in Tamil, ma'am?
Sorry?
Actually, if they're not able to catch up with our words or English, what we are explaining
See,
them.
you can use some Tamil where you think that it will help teaching. Okay. But you have to remember that there will be inspections. So suddenly, if someone from Nan Mudalvan walks into your class, or somebody from the staff, college faculty walks into your class, and you are teaching in Tamil when it is supposed to be an English class. So you can imagine your feedback is not going to be very good, right? So you can use Tamil, but use it carefully and make sure that your English class doesn't become full of Tamil.
Okay.
Are we given any identity to go to the colleges?
Identity in the sense?
Like an ID card, or we are the STEP
No, you
trainer,
don't need
such an
you don't need
authentication.
any of that. You don't need that because you have the SPOC's number. You can contact once you reach the college, just call the SPOC. They will know because it's not like anybody else will have their number, right? Because we're giving you the number. You call the SPOC. SPOC is already aware that the trainer will be coming, when they come, what are the classes, and so on. So the SPOC will guide you where the class is and so on.
Okay. Beyond these classes, I have a clarification. So, are we provided with any authenticated mail or such like that that we are being selected for this and we are going to be paid so and so much like that?
So your payment will be, if you are through Marfoy, all payment is done by them and all payment details will be by them. But
No,
yeah,
no, I'm just asking whether it would be just not by mouth. I'm asking whether you will be authenticating with any mail like that.
authenticating with any mail, as in there will be a mail that will give you the link and say that you are taking these sessions. That's about it.
I think what she's asking is for the mode of payment and the
Offer
date of
letter,
payment,
not
did we
like that.
receive any email?
Yeah, so offer letter, you will have to check that with Marfoy because they are the ones who are recruiting you, those of you who are Marfoy trainers. Those of you who are through STEP, you will anyway get an email with the payment details and such. And the terms and conditions and all that.
Ma'am, after
Sorry?
can I say something like
Your voice is breaking. Please just send your message on chat.
Excuse me, ma'am, do you
ma'am. Like
provide a
after
recorded video? Hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Ma'am, do you provide a recorded video for this session, ma'am?
This particular session, yes, I'll be sharing the recorded video. I mean, I'll
Okay,
be
ma'am. Okay,
sharing
thank
the
you, ma'am.
recording. Yes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other queries? Maybe you drape saris. Yeah, of course you can. Vandana, by far one of the, oh, thank you, Vandana. I'm glad that it was useful. Anu, after completing this project, do you receive any certification for your work? I can bring that up, and I think that's something that we should be able to do, not an issue. Any other questions?
Ma'am, for me, 3 days they have mentioned batches, so I'm going to take the three classes again and again. For the another day, they have not mentioned anything. They have just mentioned only the college name. So, and they told me it is for 6 hours, so I have to take 6 lessons,
See, I
right?
think your specific schedule, it's better you clarify it with your contacts. Let's not waste everybody's time on one person's schedule. Okay.
Okay.
So you'll have a contact person from STEP. You can probably talk to them about the scheduling and clarify your doubts. Do you have any
Okay.
questions that everybody can benefit from? You can ask that here. Is it possible to get this PPT? No, Priyanka, I'm sorry. This is our IP, so we wouldn't be able to share that. I can share the recording of the session so that it is useful for you. Subhatra is asking, only we need wear sari. No, we don't. You don't have to only wear saris. You can wear salwars, anything decent.
Will our sessions be video recorded?
They will not be video recorded, but they might be monitored rather frequently by either by the faculty, the college faculty, or the non-Mudalvan team, or the STEP. We have our subject matter experts.
And will we
Yeah.
receive any kind of feedback from anyone post every session or some of the sessions to tell us how it is going?
We would love to have done that, but unfortunately, we didn't. This project doesn't have the budget for people to go out. So that is a little difficult. And so I think what will happen is there is feedback that's collected from the students, and that feedback will be shared with you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, we need to get a student feedback video, right? So can it be in bilingual or they should only speak in English during that?
See, it can be bilingual, but you think if you see a feedback video for an English class, would you be impressed if it was English or would you be impressed if it was bilingual?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Because if
Actually,
they're still
here I
speaking, if they're still not confident in English, then that means we haven't done a great job. So that's not a very good feedback video, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
here there is a slight confusion. Here, when we say feedback videos, are we taking the feedback from the students on the session and the video recording it, or feedback videos are about the topic which is taught and the students are asked to share their understanding at the end of the session?
So the feedback video is just for to ask how the student experience was. So you'll ask the student, what did you think about these classes? Were they useful? What did you like most about the classes? Just general questions like that, right? Just to see what we're going to use this for is we're going to use it to show the government. It's also a testimony for your classes, right? So you can even get them to use your name. You can say, Subhatra ma'am or Vandana ma'am's classes are like this. So you can always get them to say, what did you like about Subhatra ma'am's class, right? And they can, so it becomes a testimony for you. It's also a testimony for us to show the government for the Non Mudalwan team to see how it was done. So all of you who are from Mafoy, anything related to the payment, you will need to check with them because they are in charge of the payment. Okay, I would not know the answer to that. Those of you who are through STEP will send you an email with all these details, so you will know the exact thing, and it would be a monthly payment, not after the project is over.
Ma'am, finally about the attendance alone, can you repeat once again, ma'am?
Yeah, so for
Should we
attendance,
upload daily or alternative days? How
yeah,
about the
you need
manual
to,
attendance? We should
yeah.
scan and upload or
No, that can be done at the end of one sheet. When one sheet is completed at the end of the week, you upload that. That's it. So every
we
week you
should scan
upload
and
it.
upload.
Scan and upload, yes.
Excel is daily.
Excel is just, it's better to become, daily. It's better for you to fill it in daily, right? Jayashree, how do you become
Okay, ma'am.
direct step trainers? See, once now we have everybody's email on our database. When there are projects, we will directly contact, or we will contact trainers, and you can apply. But I must warn you that for our usual STEP projects, our standards are much, much more stringent. Here we have lowered our standards quite a bit, and we have taken some trainers that sometimes we may not have selected because we needed so many trainers. But for STEP trainers, the selection is much more rigorous, right? But of course, everybody can apply. Is it for 2 months? Yes. It is for the period that is the end of, we have to do this till the end of October.
Is there a possibility for this project to extend beyond October?
No, because the semester exams for the colleges have to be taken in November. So we absolutely have to finish everything, all classes by the end of October. Will there be more projects with Nan Mudalwan? Yes, very possible because they're already contacting us to ask about a school project. So there may be other projects with non-Mudalyan. How many students per batch? It can be anywhere from 40 to 50. If you have more than 50, you need to tell your contact, your step contact, that you've got too many, you've got 50 students and we need to do something about it.
Related to the content, lesson plan, or anything that has covered in this session, can we connect with you if there is any query?
Not really, because we have, like I said, about 150 trainers. So trainers will be directly connected with a particular point of contact for your region. So every region has one person, and you can contact that person with your queries, and they will help you with that.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Okay, so I'm going to end up now. Okay, thank you, Vandana. I think we're winding up, so we can all leave. Thank you so much for attending. You've been extremely participative. I've been doing these sessions back to back, and I think in this session I had the maximum number of questions, which is why I think that coupled with the technical issues, we ran half an hour, no, 23 minutes over time. And again, once again, sorry about that. But thank you so much for your patience. Okay, and wish you all the very best. I'm sure you will do a fabulous, fabulous job and make STEP very, very proud. Wish you
Thank you,
all the
ma'am.
best. Enjoy your sessions.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye. Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
bye
Bye.
bye. Bye.